Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that introduction. In that little demo at the beginning, I was using the Torpedo Captor 4 by 2 Notes. I recently got this the other day. You may have seen on my Instagram. I used that in combination with my Fender Hot Rod Deville 2x12, and I also had the Friedman Smallbox pedal going. So that's an overdrive pedal. It's awesome. Check out my video here I did a few weeks ago about that, getting some awesome plexi tones from my Fender amp. So I'm going into the amp clean. So this is clean, the Fender amp, and this is going to the front. So my guitar into the Friedman Smallbox, then into the Fender amp. So that is my setup today. Basically, I'm really excited because finally I can play my Fender amp super loud and it doesn't have to deafen me. And I can do this because I can now bypass my speakers and capture the sound through my Torpedo Captor 4. This is a reactive load box, attenuator, speaker sim, amp DI. So this beautiful box basically recreates your speaker cabinet. If you're a regular viewer of my channel, you'll know that I often use my Kraken amp in combination with the Torpedo Live. I also use my Griffin Talon amp in combination with my Torpedo Captor X. Both of these amps are 8 ohms. So basically, I can't use my Fender Hot Rod Deville with these devices because it's 4 ohms, and you will probably blow up your amp if you're not careful and you use the wrong load box. So I specifically bought this for that purpose. I don't really understand the technicalities of it all, but I know that you need to have this particular load box for this amp because it's 4 ohms. Makes sense. If you've just come to this video to see how to set this up, I do a full demonstration of how to do that, and you can skip to that time code. I'll put it down here or you'll see it in the description. So I go through all that you need to do it. You only need an XLR cable and a speaker cable and you're good to go. So the reasons that I purchased this 2 Notes Torpedo Captor 4 was because I love the clean tones of my Fender Hot Rod Deville. The only issue is that I have quite bad tinnitus, and to capture the sounds I need to mic it up and you need to have the amp quite loud. Now I'm quite fortunate in terms of I'm in a studio out in my garden, I'm not near neighbours, so I don't really upset them anyway, but I want to save my ears because I'm in the same room as when I record the amp. I don't have a separate area I can put my amp. So this load box allows me to play this amp very loud and play directly into my interface and record that into my DAW very simply, and I can control the levels with the output volume here. I can crank my Fender Hot Rod as much as I want, get those valves working, steaming hot, and get the tones that I desire. That's basically in a nutshell why I bought this. If you have a Fender amp yourself which you love, but you can't often play it because it's too loud, you know what happens with these Fender amps. Even when you turn it up slightly, even at 1, it's so loud. I'm at 2, and if I did take out this speaker cable connected to my Torpedo Captor, it would be ridiculously mind-blowing. I would blow up, my head would explode, and all bad things would happen. Now I can capture those beautiful clean tones without having to blow my head off. Sorry, I've had some Monster and I don't really drink coffee anymore because I get hyped, so I apologise if I'm all over the shop in this video. I'll put a clause in here right now saying I am in no way a super technical person who knows about gear, but let me try and explain how all of this works. So if we take our raw signal from our amp, I'm going to make this very over the top by turning on the Smallbox. So if I turn off the amp simulator or the speaker simulator, you'll get a sound like this. You'll hear that it's very fuzzy, it's very nasty, it's very loud. That's the raw signal coming directly from your amp to the Torpedo Captor 4. Now, going from that, you turn that on, you've got that sound that you get from your speaker. Going into the Torpedo Captor, then out through the XLR cable into my interface. So simple. I've not had to mic up the Fender amp at all. I just get that awesome tone straight into the box. By the way, I'm looking for that Hendrix tone, so let's play some Hendrix. That sounds pretty beautiful. That's cool, man. That's got me excited because I've been waiting so long to get some really good tones without having to get out all my microphones and things. Let me play some more stuff so you can hear what it sounds like. That sounds lovely. It seems to still be getting those beautiful lows that you get from the Fender amp. I'm not even using a compressor pedal. I would usually put a compressor in front as well to push that, but that sounds pretty good. Also, let's test out some funky stuff. I've been looking to get a really strong funk tone. I know my Fender amp can do it, and that's cool. So I've actually got the reverb turned on, so that's the reverb from the amp, and even that comes through really well through the capture box. Let's turn the reverb off. So and then turning it back on, I'm on up to 3 on there. Let's turn it up ridiculous to 6. Let's go all the way to 12. That still sounds lush. That's way too much reverb, but that still sounds okay. Let's put that down to 4. that is the sound of your Fender clean amp through the Torpedo Captor 4. So I just want to say, all I'm doing is I'm plugging my guitar into this Friedman, then into the amp. Then from the speaker out of my Fender, I'm going into Torpedo Captor 4. Then from the XLR cable, I'm going into my interface, the Focusrite Claret 8 Pre, then into my DAW, which is Logic Pro X, which you are hearing now. As you heard at the beginning, it also takes pedals very well. Let's turn on this Smallbox. And you can get rid of that reverb if you're recording some rock tracks. Okay, because I know you guys are going to ask for it, I'm going to do a comparison of using a microphone, the sounds from that. So I've got an SE Electronics V7X dynamic microphone going into my interface, and then compare that sound to the Torpedo Captor 4. Okay, something I'm learning already though, you can't beat the vibe of a real amp and speaker in the room. Like, it gives you thrills, deafens you. If you're young and you have good ears, then you'll enjoy it, but I'm getting old and don't. I'll take saving my ears and not pissing off my neighbours any day of the week over playing it that loud. That's on 2. I don't know if it'll come across on this microphone. Okay, so that's the test. I put that in there for you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's carry on with the video. Okay, let me show you how easy it is to connect up your Torpedo Captor 4 to your Fender amp, which is 4 ohms. So most amps are usually obviously 8 ohms, so I've got a special captor box for that. What we're going to need is a speaker cable like this. There we go, speaker. This is an Ernie Ball speaker cable. Make sure it's a speaker cable and not a guitar cable. They are 2 different things. That's very important. You don't want to damage your amp. Okay, next up we're going to need a male to female XLR cable. So there's the female part, and the male part is going to go over here to my interface. You can see it plugged in here. So that's in channel 2. So that's where the sound's going to come out of the amp from the captor box. Okay, so what we want to do next is let's plug in the female part XLR, which is this here, into the front here, like that. Oh, I hope I've turned that off over there. And the great thing about doing this is you'll notice here, the XLR cable actually powers the device. And you'll see this light comes on, so it's powered via phantom power. If your interface doesn't have phantom power, you can use this power patch here, so 9 volts there, so like all your other guitar cables, guitar pedals, sorry. Okay, so next up we want to plug in the speaker cable. So this is going to go into your Fender amp. Right, so if we look under here, let me change the angle. So there is your speaker cable going to your speakers in the amp. So we want to unplug that, and that's where we're going to plug in our speaker cable. The one on the right is for an external speaker cable. I don't know if you can use that. I tried it and it was really quiet. I wouldn't recommend that because it did blow my amp. When I first tried it, it blew the fuse, whereas this hasn't. So I assume that is correct. Hopefully you can see there inside your amp, it does explain what all the holes are on the back. So I'm going to be plugging in my speaker cable to that one on the left. Okay, so let's grab the speaker cable. This is hard to film and do this, but one into there like that. And then we've got the other end of the speaker cable here. And we're going to go to the back of the device. And you see here, input 100 watt RMS max, speaker in. And then plug it into there. And that is literally everything. Now all that's left to do is turn on your amp. And if I just play my guitar here, yeah, we should get sound. And what you want to do is, I've messed about my levels here. When I do play the guitar, you see this monitoring here. I don't want that to be too loud, so you can mess about with the volume here on the front. Let me get that in focus. So you've got the output level, and you don't want to really have this too loud on your amp, so I've got it set to 2, which is extremely loud even when I'm just plugged into the speakers itself. So at the moment what we've done is we've bypassed the speakers inside here. The output from the amp is going into here, and it's squashing the signal to send it back so it sounds like a cabinet. So this only has one cabinet sound, and you've got to make sure you go click onto guitar here, and that enables your cab sound, which is the preset that's already on there. If you've got the Captor X, you can save other speaker settings on there, IRs and things, but you can load your own IRs and things if you go to off here in the middle, and you can use the Wall of Sound 2 Notes app on your computer and load up all your different cabinets. This just sends the raw signal from your amp to your interface, and then it works out all the sounds in your computer. There is supposedly a bit of delay with that, so I'm just going to be using whatever sounds come from this box. But that's it. In a nutshell, all you need is the XLR cable, a speaker cable, and you're good to go. So that's really exciting for me. I feel like I finally completed my studio in terms of having a silent setup. If I want to get clean tones and a Marshall-esque sound, I can go to my Fender amp combined with the Smallbox. If I want some heavy metal kind of stuff, I can go to my Kraken. And if I want some classic rock stuff, I can go to my Talon. That does the Guns N' Roses stuff pretty sick, as well as the Friedman. So that's pretty cool. I've got lots of options. I also love using my plugins as well. I like having an easy life. I don't want to move around from this desk. Now I can just switch between these different amps and then find the tones I need as quickly as possible, which we all dream of in the studio. I'm very fortunate, and I thank you guys so much, because I wouldn't have all this if it wasn't for you guys. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. I'll see you for another video very soon. Take care.
Oh, I feel it now. I can't make you smile.